Hello everyone, and welcome to the Crystal Lightworkers podcast to aid spirituality and well-being using crystals. My name is Jackie Winters, founder of the British Academy of Crystal Healing, and today I would like to speak with you about how to use crystals to release yourself from verbal contracts and emotional psychic cords. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's podcast, all about how to release yourself from verbal contracts that you may have made and emotional cords, emotional ties that can be holding you in a vibration that is not productive for your soul. Now, many of us speak without full awareness of what we are truly saying or the full impact and understanding of the power of the spoken word, the energy behind the words that we are saying. When we pledge ourselves to someone, this can last many, many incarnations until we actually realize what we have initiated through that particular pledge. Now, one of the most popular ways to pledge yourself is through marriage, when we may say something like, "Until death us do part," or "I will always love you." Now, in my opinion, some pagans, I believe, may realize the strength of a pledge and offer a ritual for commitment known as a hand fasting that traditionally only lasts for 1 year and 1 day, when they can then decide if they want to make the commitment for longer or call it a day, sort of like an engagement, which is not as binding as the marriage process that other people go through. Also, have you ever noticed that in your everyday life, you may react with more tolerance to some people than others for no apparent reason? Well, if this has happened to you, maybe you have created a karmic pledge or link to the person that you are allowing tolerance to. Throughout my life, I noticed that there were a few people who could never do me any wrong in my eyes. In other words, my tolerance level with them was far more outreaching than with others. And when I worked energetically on myself, I realized that I had made a pledge to always love these people. Yes, I do always aim to live in the vibration of love, but with these particular people, I had created an experience to learn how to be careful with my pledges and words because I was allowing myself to be verbally abused. I wasn't consciously allowing this because I would get cross at them, but unconsciously, I was playing out, "I will always love you. You can do me no wrong," a pledge that I had previously made to them. Now, this may all sound very far-fetched to you, but I can assure you, once I had used crystals and meditation to release myself from the pledges that I had made to these people, I reacted so differently with them. I began to realize that my tolerance level wasn't as outreaching as it had been previously, and that I started to find more self-respect. Therefore, the lesson that I was learning in that case was to balance and implement self-love and be discerning with my judgment of what is good for my soul and what is damaging my soul. We often don't realize that there are contracts and pledges in force until we actually sit down and witness ourselves and see how we are responding to certain people differently, like I previously said, with more tolerance. So when we choose to live in the vibration of love, it doesn't mean that we should love without being discerning of the effect of the reality of doing so. If someone is causing you harm emotionally or physically, it is important that we withdraw from the situation and reevaluate our choices in life. Life is about fairness, or the spiritual journey in life is about fairness, balance, and harmony. And when disharmony is being experienced, we should then sit down and reconsider our choices in life and implement change accordingly. I have always been on a spiritual path and always tried to be the very best version of myself that I can. I soon learned that being the authentic me works for me much better than me trying to be the definition of spirituality that I had created for myself. I learned that I should not try to be anything other than what and who I am in any given moment. The identity that I had created for myself was pretty hard to live up to, thereby initiating an internal authoritative voice. I would hear my internal voice saying, "Oh, Jackie, you shouldn't have done that. That was not what a spiritual person would do." And what I realized was that I was aiming to be too godly. In a previous life, maybe I had made a pledge to serve God, maybe a nun or a monk. Again, I was bound by definition of godliness that was creating the disharmony within me. When I learned that it was okay to just be me, nothing fancy, just plain old me who makes mistakes, speaks without engaging her brain, and allowing myself to be whatever I felt on the day without hurting anybody else, and being discerning about how I release my energy of upset, anger, them low vibrations, making sure that I don't project these low vibrations to others. But what happened was, as I started to allow myself to feel these different vibrations within me, I became a lot happier with myself. And I do definitely laugh a lot more, mainly at myself, and my own inner voice has massively softened. I catch myself now sort of being in Team Jackie, supporting myself internally. I released myself from many pledges over the years through meditation and using crystals, which I will explain a little bit more about shortly, but I can highly recommend it. It is so freeing. You feel as though a weight has been lifted off your shoulders and find that you react so differently to said people without even trying. So whilst removing my subliminal pledges, I also became aware of how simple expressions that are often said in the heat of the moment can create an energetic reaction too, such as the phrase, "I will never forgive you," is often said in anger, but it can create a subliminal contract between the person who has hurt you and yourself, thereby setting a contract in place between you. The energy can create a struggle to forgive this person no matter what they do. And when we hold anger, irritation, frustration, or a grudge even in your energy field, you are damaging yourself because the vibration is living within your body. The anger is in you, not them, it's inside you. And therefore, to forgive someone is the best medicine that you can ever give yourself. Not necessarily for them. If left untreated, anger in your body can create inflammation, sepsis, and definitely deplete your immune system, making you more susceptible to disease. Some even say that we have to sometimes reincarnate to clear these pledges and curses, to take heed and just maybe do some meditation to self-inquire and see if you are playing some of these pledges out in your reality, or if you have to clear some psychic cords, emotional attachments to people and things around of you. It may also be the case that you have inadvertently or with intention, because none of us are perfect, at some time cursed someone, and that the vibration will be holding said person in that energetic vibration that will be unproductive for them. Now let me give you an example. "I hope you never succeed," again said from a point of anger. And we've all been there. We've all felt these emotions in the past and maybe reacted without actually engaging our heart and, allowing ourselves to get swept away in the moment. So when you say to somebody, "I hope you will never succeed," or something similar, it will afford the energy whereby the person may actually never succeed, which is more than likely totally not true, or what you would really want for that person. Most of us, when we search our hearts, we want the very best for each other, for everyone, that we are all spirits in form, and we just get agitated by the vibrations that get disturbed within us and take us into those not nice vibrations. But the reality is, I don't want to harm anybody. I want everyone to be successful, happy, healthy, and wealthy. But because of my mindset and because of these pledges and curses and emotional cords, sometimes we get lost and we start creating a mess for ourselves and karma, because there is absolutely no separation between me and you. We are all energetically connected. As you can see by this conversation, that, we are interacting with each other on a subliminal level as well as on a level of matter. In other words, we are physically next to each other, but there's a subliminal energy going on as well. Now, when you fire a curse, maybe as a child in vengeance, we've all done it, like, I hope you die. I can remember, sometimes getting so angry as a little one that, you say things that you have no intention of, but it's just off the cut. If you say something like that, it can actually create a short life. So we do have to be discerning about what we say. Depending on the severity of the curse, will distinguish the severity of the reaction that is in action. So it's really important to become more mindful of what we say and the vibration behind what we are saying, and recognize, am I being emotionally manipulated here by a psychic cord that I've created? And when we realize what is happening energetically around of us and how we are actually creating the reality for others and for ourselves, you begin to realize that if we implement the reverse and we start creating wishes for people, I wish you well, I hope you succeed, I see you as healthy, I see you as happy, this also has an energetic charge and reaction that will benefit all of us. So how do we clear these pledges, curses and contracts? First, we use the purple ray to help your clairvoyance, to help you clearly see, to develop your ability to see where these links may be. You don't have to physically recognize them, but maybe just have a try what comes up when you're working with the crystals and implement this process of cutting cords. I love working with Sugilite as it's straight to the heart. It's heart wisdom all the time, and it helps you recognize, actually on a deeper level, I may have implemented a pledge here because I do seem to be very accommodating for these people or this situation. And it helps us recognize our own impurities and that, actually I did say that and I'm so sorry. And so use a meditation to ask for forgiveness. And Sugilite helps us to see things clearly without creating judgment. No shame and no blame. Just a recognition that we've made a few blunders along our energetic path, and now it's time to put things right. There's also a new stone that I have personally just been working with called Purpurite. Purpurite. Now, some find this stone too spiritual as it demands purity from you, and some issues or projects take time for us to work through. I wore Purpurite for 3 months and absolutely loved it, but it was very challenging, even though I knew what it was unearthing within me. So be warned that Purpurite really, really will be demanding that you purify yourself and soften towards yourself, soften towards others. But Purpurite is a great crystal to help you recognize your spiritual journey and help you clear things. So once you've worked with the purple ray, then you may want to bless an obsidian arrowhead. An obsidian arrowhead is an obsidian that looks like a blade, and it is used in ceremony to release emotional cords when we feel we are being emotionally manipulated, or if we are emotionally manipulating others. It also helps us break pledges, and we want to do all this with love, because we're on this spiritual journey. I don't want to hurt you and you don't want to hurt me. I know that. So if I can break this cord, break this pledge with love and allow both of us the freedom to go our own way, but in the vibration of love, then you will be freer and happier and I will be freer and happier. So when you have cut the cord or pledge out of your auric field, please remember to seal the space you have worked on with a quartz point or some beautiful damburite, or a lovely piece of pink kunzite is beautiful to just seal your aura to make sure that only love remains. And if you're asking for forgiveness, when you cut the cord, just imagine that you have been forgiven, and use some kunzite or some damburite or even clear quartz to just seal that area for you. However, if you do decide you want to do this and you want some guidance, I do offer classes and personal one-to-one sessions on the process, because when it's done correctly, it really is an amazing feeling. You feel so much lighter, you feel so much more in control, and you recognize how you have maybe been distorted with your perception regarding people, situations, or whatever. So if you want any help, I am here offering my services, like I say, personal one-to-one sessions, or even, maybe join a class. But if you do feel capable of using your tools yourself and call upon your own beings of light to help you, I am quite sure that you will manage the process beautifully. So this is hopefully offering you some insight onto how pledges, curses, and emotional cords of attachment can manipulate the way you react in certain situations. And if you want any more help or advice on this, or if you want to purchase any of the crystals that we've mentioned, if you email me or email the Academy, bachorders@yahoo.com, and we will endeavour to help you out with your crystals, unless of course you manage to find them, in which case make sure that you do bless them. If you want to join us on any of our classes or have a look at what we're doing on Facebook, you would be able to find us quite easily through www. Academy of Crystal Healing. Right, my darlings, sending you love to all you beautiful souls, and many thanks for joining me again and listening, and hoping that you enjoy the day and make the best from it. With love to you from Jackie. Until we speak again, take care.